and the operators of this radio
This
station.
is Straight Talk with Gregory Colley. Call in and participate at 326-0271 on Global Radio 99.5 FM.
Give me some straight talk, and hold the sugar, please. Straight talk, sounds pretty sweet to me. Don't talk to me in circles and some mumbo jumbo jive. Give me just straight talk, and we're gonna be alright. Cause I like to know just where I stand. I don't like guessing games, and I hate a bunch of gibberish, so just spit it out real plain. Don't use big.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Straight Talk. I want to say good afternoon and welcome to all our listeners out there. This is Straight Talk. I'm your host, Gregory Colley, along with my co-host, Martin Albury. We are broadcasting live on Global 99.5 FM from our studios located at Shirley Street and Elizabeth Avenue in beautiful downtown Nassau in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Today's show is being brought to you by Doc's Pharmacy, located Robertson Road, by Master Sis, located Village Road, by Nature's Gifts, fresh roasted peanuts, located Market Street South, by Sammy's Chicken, 5 locations to choose from, by First Choice Appraisals and Sales, by Geneva Brass Seafood, located Eden Street off Farrington Road. To participate in our show today, you can call us at telephone number 326-0271. That's 326-0271 or 326-0272. That's 326-0272. You can also text us at 552-7902. That's 552-7902. We are streaming live at www.globalradio995fm.com. That's www.globalradio995fm.com. You can also watch us live on Facebook. If you are on Facebook, you can just search for Global Radio 995. Like us on Facebook, make your comments, and participate in the show. I want to say good afternoon to our producer and engineer, Nathan. To my co-host, Martin Albury. Good afternoon, Martin. You have that beautiful Hawaiian shirt on today. Look like you are going on vacation.
And it's about time, because I told you it's good. Well, good afternoon, first of all. It's good to be here in the studio where it's nice and cool, but 92 degrees in the shade on the outdoors. And should you drink plenty of fluids if you are outdoors today? And make sure it's water, nothing else. Just drink plenty of water, so that you can maintain your body temperature and you stay floating. Good to be here on this Monday afternoon, and we hope that you're tuned in and ready for an exciting show on Straight Talk.
Well, a lot of things are happening today. Today, the Parliament is in session, and we heard this morning a long back and forth over privilege. First of all, the member for Garden Hills, Honorable Brenzel Rule, stood on a point of privilege in the House of Assembly, reacting to a publication in the Tribune, which Mr. Davis claims that the payroll information that Mr. Rule had indicated, given in the House of Assembly, was untrue. According to the newspaper report, it says leader of official opposition, Philip Brave Davis, said the Minnis administration has made untrue and groundless accusations about how much the government's payroll increased in the final months of the Christie administration. Minister of State for Public Service with responsibility for national insurance, Brenzel Rule, said in the House of Assembly last week that 6,500 new public service workers were employed under the former administration, and that the government's payroll increased by $10 million in that administration's final 5 months through new employment. Mr. Rule said the traditional process by which people are hired to the public service, one that ensured ministers Ministries approve that financial provisions existed within their budget for additional hires, which was not adhered to by his predecessors, whom he accused of establishing a system of hiring that ran parallel to that overseen by the Ministry of Public Service. Mr. Davis did not refute Mr. Roll's claims using statistics or through specific explanations. However, these phones have a way of where was I? Mr. Davis did not refute Mr. Roll's claims using statistics or through specific explanations. However, he declared that Mr. Roll's statements flow from an administration that has a disturbing habit of making false and reckless accusations. Of course, Mr. Brenzel Rose stood on his feet. Privilege. His privilege was infringed by the Deputy Prime Minister. And if you had watched the proceedings, you'd see that the Speaker, after Mr. Rule and Mr. Davis went back and forth, and finally Mr. Rule making his case, and the Speaker of the House of Assembly asking Mr. Davis to affirm, to establish whether he was owning the statements that were printed in the newspaper, to which Mr. Davis vaguely was trying to say that he did. Further pressed him to be more definitive as to whether he agreed that, according to the paragraph 1, that the leader of the official opposition, Philip Brave Davis, said the administration has made untrue and groundless accusations about how much the government's payroll increased in the final months of the Christie administration. And he further went on to get him to acknowledge that he also owns the statement which appeared in the newspaper at page 6, paragraphs
third from the bottom. Yes.
That the members' comments are wholly untrue, both in their general assertions of fact and in the ridiculous estimate of figures. He ought only present factual information to the Bahamian people, not his creative reality. And also the final paragraph, which says, we know that this administration has come into office with no vision, no plan, and no policies. We understand that the chief skill lies in dishing out unknowns and untruths against the Progressive Liberal Party. They have satisfied a desire for change amongst the Bahamian people. There is no excuse now for unnecessary reaching. They need only to be about the people's business. We invite them to take a more dignified approach to governance. Otherwise, the Bahamian people will see much sooner than 5 years the hollowness of their words and the emptiness of their promises. To which the Speaker, after the former Deputy Prime Minister and now leader of the official opposition, acknowledged that those statements were his and that he owns up to them. And upon that, which the conclusion the Speaker made, that since he acknowledged them, a prima facie case has been made out, the matter to the Committee on Privileges, which the member for Garden Hill sought in that regard.
Well, two things stood out for me in that exchange between Mr. Brenzel Rule, the Member of Parliament for Garden Hills, and Mr. Philip Brave Davis, the leader of Her Majesty's official opposition in Parliament, the Member of Parliament for St. Salvador, Ramkey, and Cat Island in the House of Assembly this morning. The first thing is that the Minnis administration, Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, and his government, on the first day that they entered Parliament, a good choice in electing Mr. Alston Moostry, the Member of Parliament for Nassau Village, to be the Speaker of the Honorable House of Assembly. very, very early in his administrative duties of the House of Assembly, the four members of the opposition, including Mr. Davis, Glennis Hannah Martin, to a lesser extent, Picewell Forbes, the Member of Parliament for Mangrove Key in South Andros, and the Member of Parliament for Exuma, I. Chester Cooper, are discovering that Mr. Moultrie, the Honorable Speaker of the House of Assembly, is indeed a fair man. He's given them every opportunity to explain themselves, to express their opinions on matters arising in the House of Assembly very early. They're only now dealing with the 2017-2018 budget communication, dealing with the two bills that are seeking to borrow that $722 million loan, which the government says it needs, first of all, to pay off $400 million in outstanding bills that the Progressive Liberal Party government, under the leadership of former Prime Minister Perry Christie, left on the books, and another $322 million that the government intends to borrow for capital expenditure. What they have discovered very early in this new dispensation in the Honorable House of Assembly, that the Honorable Speaker, Mr. Alston Moultrie, has come prepared. It appears as if he was preparing himself for that position for a very, very long time. Now, Mr. Moultrie is a trained lawyer, an attorney at law, and he has been getting ready to become the Member of Parliament for the Nassau Village constituency. In addition to that, as I said, he was named the Speaker of the House of Assembly. And he is already displaying his astuteness in dealing with matters that the opposition is presenting. We heard him this morning dealing with the matter that was raised by the Member of Parliament for Garden Hills, Mr. Brensel Rule, the issue of parliamentary privilege. And this was following a story in today's edition of the Tribune in which Mr. Philip Brave Davis called Mr. Brensel Rule a bearer of untruths. Well, you would recall that last week, Mr. Rule asserted a couple of things. One, that work did not stop at the proposed Blue Hill Estate site for the new post office. You would also recall that the Honorable Speaker of the House of Assembly, Dr. Kendall Major, told us just a couple of weeks before the 2017 general election that he did not know about what was going on that construction site for the new post office on Blue Hill Road, across from the A.F. Atlee School. Well, Dr. Major said he didn't know anything about it. Mr. Davis said a work stop order was issued for that project. But guess what? The work did not stop. Mr. Rule further asserted that public servants' insurance was about to be lapsed or cancelled. It was costing some $70 million because it was in arrears. The government was putting the insurance coverage of thousands of civil servants in jeopardy. Mr. Rule also asserted that 6,500 persons, Bahamians, had been added to the payroll of the government, increasing the government's payroll by $10 million in 5 months, from December to May of. And I heard Mr. Rule made a very, very salient point in the Honorable House of Assembly this morning. He said between 1729 and 2012, the only government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas was that of Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Gladstone Christie, who moved the payroll of the government from September 29th, 1729 to 2012, the first time in history. Between 2007 and 2012, the government's payroll moved $200 million each year. And it was the first time in almost 300 years that the government's recurrent expenditure moved from $1.6 billion to $2.6 billion. And Mr. Davis to explain to the Bahamian people how the Progressive Liberal Party government could accumulate a recurrent expenditure of $200 million each year for the past 5 years. Well, the majority of the recurrent expenditure includes the salaries and emoluments, the pensions, and the insurance of public servants. And after reading into the record the claims made by Mr. Philip Brave Davis in today's edition of the Tribune, the banner headline, Davis, payroll claims untrue. The speaker said a prima facie case has been made based on paragraphs 1 and 4 of that article on the front page, and on page 6, the third paragraph from the bottom, that all that is contained therein points to a strong case of the breach of the parliamentary privilege of the Member of Parliament for Mr. Brensel Roll, and the matter will be placed before the Committee of Privilege. Because Mr. Davis, as you heard from Bishop Colley earlier, Mr. Davis has adopted and taken ownership of the statements written therein. But Mr. Davis is asserting that Mr. Roll and other members of the government are telling a bunch of untruths in the House of Assembly, especially when it comes to information about the previous government's spending and their hiring practices. So once again, I want to ask the question, what was the reason for all of this back and forth argument between Brensel Roll, Philip Brave Davis, Glennis Hannah Martin joined the fray, Desmond Bannister also got involved? Well, it was about, at the first instance, the possible breach of parliamentary privilege of Mr. Brensel Roll by Mr. Davis. And as I said, it was arising from the publication of the statements by Mr. Davis in today's edition of the Tribune. Under the bold headline on the front page, Davis, payroll claims untrue. Mr. Davis is saying the statements made by Mr. Roll last week in the House of Assembly that the PLP hired 6,500 persons over the past 5 years in the public service and increased the bloated government's public service and the payroll by $10 million between December 2016, May 2017. And to give you, our listeners, a close-up, a bird's eye view of the previous government's hiring practices, as I promised on Friday, I will endeavor to deliver on every promise I made to you on this show. I promised you last week on Friday I would read something about workers the country can't afford into your hearing. It appears in the National Guardian editorial, Friday, June 9th, 2017, and it reads as follows. Workers the country can't afford. The Bahamas has been in a no-growth contraction phase the past few years. In that time, government debt has gone up. The government debt to GDP went from 48% in 2011-2012 fiscal year to a projected 71.5% this fiscal year. The new Free National Movement FNM administration is borrowing $722 million, which it thinks is necessary to stabilize the mess left by the Progressive Liberal Party. We are in a bad financial situation. The Bahamas has an inefficient and overstaffed public service. That has been known and accepted for years. No sane person thinks the public service should be grown by thousands. Yet, that's what the PLP did. Minister of State for Public Service and National Insurance, Brensel Rolle, revealed in the House of Assembly last week that the public service grew by 6,500 people over the last 5 years, and the government supplied $10 million in the last 5 months of the Christie administration's term. Rolle, who made those revelations during his contribution to the budget debate in the House of Assembly, said the established process for hiring new people, which includes proving to the Ministry of Public Service that there is sufficient money to cover salaries, was thrown out the window under the former government. Every minister hired whomever they wished, at whatever rank they wished, many of whom did not even come to the public service. The minister said when he inquired as to how many of the new employees were paid, he was informed that the Ministry of Finance did not know that they existed in many cases. The Bahamian people knew the PLP was ruining the country. That's why the party was rejected across the archipelago. Voters tried to remove the entire then governing party from the House. Even the sitting prime minister lost his seat. The 4 PLPs who won just barely did so. The FNM should not keep all these people the PLP irresponsibly hired. Bahamians cannot afford the increased tax burden for more unneeded state bureaucracy and bureaucrats. Thankfully, Mr. Rolle is also of that view. He says, while this government is truly committed to the Bahamian people, quote, we are fully aware that there are some burdens we can't carry at the public's expense, end quote. Another major issue in the public service, Mr. Rolle said, is the number of pensioners aged by the former administration. Here's what he said about that. Quote, we have been saddled with the engagement and re-engagement of too many pensioners with skills that are already resident in the public service. And they are given salaries that are substantially higher than that of members in the public service. This government, he says, will engage in an exercise that will somehow deal with these issues, end quote. Terminating workers from the public service is always a politically charged issue. The FNM would be wise to terminate all the people it deems unnecessary at once in order to avoid numerous battles with those who dissent. The tens of thousands of Bahamians who voted for the FNM understand that it is trying to clean up the PLP's mess. and that tough measures are necessary. The excessive levels of PLP spending should not be retained. We cannot create a prosperous country by wasting tax dollars on unnecessary jobs. We therefore hope that addresses this issue sooner rather than later, because order must be restored.
And if you're just joining us, this is Straight Talk. I'm your host, Greg Colley, along with my co-host, Martin Albury. And this is Global 99.5 FM. We're coming back after we hear from our sponsors. And our phone lines will be open. We'll give you the numbers when we return. This is Straight Talk. We're coming back.
For fast and efficient appraisals of homes, vacant land, and businesses, your choice should be First Choice Appraisal and Real Estate Sales. Contact broker appraiser Gregory Colley for all your real estate sales and appraisals. Call 422-3010, 565-8896, or 341-0582 for listings of vacant land, residential and commercial properties, and all your appraisal needs.
LRD Construction has a proven track record as a general building and construction company. Its remarkable team is ready to provide quality and proficient service on projects big or small. LRD Construction can handle large commercial sites, new homes, apartments, condominiums, townhouses, home improvements, renovations, additions, and alterations. Call LRD Construction at 327-3769 or 433-6166. West Winds, Love Beach. That's LRD Construction.
Sammy's Chicken does it again! For a limited time only, it's the $5.99 Thigh Snack Special!
I tell you!
Sammy's $5.99 Thigh Snack Special comes with a 12-ounce Coke, that included!
See, I don't lie!
For a limited time only, Sammy's Chicken, Robinson Road, Carmichael Road, East Street South, Farrington Road, and the newly reopened Prince Charles location! Sammy's Chicken!
The best tasting roasted peanuts in the whole wide world are Nature's Gifts Roasted Peanuts. Proprietor Derek Sims applies his personal touch by roasting peanuts to perfection. Get your peanuts in light, medium, and dark. Call 431-7710 to place your order. Nature's Gifts Roasted Peanuts on Market Street and Bacardi Road.
Can you imagine being caught in a medical emergency with no help? Massa Assist Medical Air Services Association can come to your rescue by helping your family for a very affordable membership cost. Massa Assist will take care of all your family's emergencies in the Bahamas and abroad. For more information, contact Senior Marketing Executive Lincoln Deal at 422-6166 or 433-6166. Massa Assist for all your emergencies.
Want to reach your target audience? Advertise here at Global Radio 99.5. We hit the mark every time. This is Straight Talk with Gregory Colley. Call in and participate at 326-0271 on Global Radio 99.5 FM.
Thank you. Good afternoon once again. Good afternoon and welcome to our listeners out there. If you're just joining us, this is Straight Talk. I'm your host, Gregory Colley, along with my co-host, Martin Albury, and you're tuned into Global 99.5 FM. I want to remind you, you can join us online if you online, www.globalradio995fm.com. That's www.globalradio995fm.com. And if you're on Facebook, you can tune in on Facebook. Just search for Global Radio 995. Like us and follow us on Facebook, and you can send us some hearts. Let us know that you're tuned in. Send us your comments. Let us know if you like the show, if you don't like it, or what you would like to see improve on our show. Let us know. We are opening our lines right now. The numbers are 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272, or you can WhatsApp or text us at 552-7902. That's 552-7902. Martin, Mr. Davis has been up and down like a jack in the box
Yes, he has.
on his feet, and you have following close behind him was the member for Engliston, Glenys Hannah Martin. And I guess they are trying to assert their knowledge and their dominance over Parliament, and to show that they are a force to be reckoned with. As you, those of you who watched the proceedings this morning can see, and even from the previous proceedings, Mr. Davis is trying to preserve the integrity, or the perceive integrity of the Progressive Liberal Party, and defend it at whatever cost. But we have a phone call. Let's go to the phone lines. Welcome to Straight Talk. This is Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my two friends. How you all doing?
I am doing fine. How are you?
You all had a good weekend?
Excellent weekend. What about yours?
It was okay. One thing, I don't know, like, because I keep on going, don't make sense talk, because they ain't listening.
Well, you can talk about it. Keep talking about
I
it.
ain't talking
and
about it, man.
They will listen. Not only you are having that problem, PPL. I know my colleague Martin said they were preparing for the summer. Whatever preparation, if they haven't done it already, it's too late. And they should have been more proactive to have those backup generators, whatever they needed, to make sure that people's light, the electricity is kept on without interruption. But obviously, they have not done anything.
Question.
Go right ahead.
I understand that when you go to BEC, the report that the current medical, when you stop, they only give you $50.
If they give
that's
you
what
that.
I hear.
If,
Right. That's what I hear. Somebody told me.
If they give you that.
I hear they only get 50, so it don't make a sense going to them. Okay. It makes sense just go buy
Well, the
stuff.
number of paperwork they give you to go through, they discourage you. They send you back and forth. And then at the end of the day,
That's why people don't go there.
yeah, that's why they don't want you to come. They want to make sure. That's
You know what I mean?
That's the reason why they put those policy in place to discourage you
Now,
from
you
making
say-
claims.
Now you saying that calling to find out what you could upgrade your show with? What I want you and Martin to do? Stop going on vacation.
Stop going on vacation.
Yeah, leave that vacation alone.
Well, we need vacation.
You know you sound like this, huh?
Who?
Like Uncle Ben Rice. Like you know you
You
sound like
don't think
this, huh?
we deserve vacation?
Yeah, you deserve it, but don't go and talk with no vacation, man. Leave that vacation alone and come on, man, and do some talking. You're the best show.
It is summertime. The wives and the children are on vacation and out of school.
Well, we soon go on vacation too, so I don't soon be calling you all, but don't worry about that.
See, you plan
No.
on going on vacation.
But you
7
want to
years?
take no
You want me to
vacation.
stay.
7 years? 7 years time being over here? You know how long that is? 7 years.
How about 10 years?
Okay. Anyhow. Anyhow, what I'm talking
we
about.
get your point.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop that vacation for a little while. You know, I'm a little jealous. What I want to say, and I know my friend listening, because she tell me, I get to my boyfriend, she's get jealous when I call you all. I know she's listening.
Yeah.
And what I want to say is, they need to tell Brad Davis, go and need a rock, like what he named, say to him, go and need a rock, man, go and need a rock.
No, we need Brave Davis because he is the leader of the official opposition.
Yeah, but he said go and need a rock.
and he must remain in place because he has to answer lots of questions.
Okay, boy, but I tell you. Boy, your old friend talk long this morning. You know what I talking about. He talk long.
Our friend?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, he gave us some history.
Yeah, he talk long, but anyhow, I listen to him, you know, so it
Well,
does speak.
he will continue at 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Oh, 3 o'clock, okay, I didn't finish because, you know, my story is coming. I got to watch my story.
Yes.
But that's what I'll tell you. That's the one I want to say. Stop going on vacation. Leave that vacation alone.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Do you know you all need the show I listen to?
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We
Continue
appreciate
to
it.
listen.
Only show I listen to, them other show I listen to. I know that we talking about. One show come on, this one talk about mosquito. God dang.
Thank you very much.
You know about here about the mosquito? We don't know about the mosquito.
Oh, you have to talk about mosquitoes.
No, we know about the mosquito.
Because mosquitoes can cause dengue fever.
Listen to me.
They
We
can
don't know about
cause
mosquito, okay?
Zika virus.
I said to you, we don't know about the
Malaria?
mosquito.
We need to talk about mosquitoes.
Yeah?
What you need to do is when you hear them buzzing, you have to eliminate them.
Anyhow, That's our whole story, okay?
Thank you very much.
Meeting close. You almost on the payroll to come talk to me. At this point.
Have a good afternoon.
All right, take care. 3260271. 3260271. 3260272. 3260272. Or you can WhatsApp or text us at 552-7902. 552-7902. Martin, in addition to, well, I guess what we talked about this morning was all of the that Mr. Davis and Glenasana Martin got them hot out of the collar and got their juices flowing, so to speak, is the government's, which is also reported in the paper, government plan to drop the appeal of the Court of Cost Privilege ruling. That certainly got them really.
Yeah, what is that all about?
Going.
Is that the Save the Bays case?
Well,
in which Jerome Fitzgerald, the former Minister of Education,
read all those
was
emails.
ordered by Justice Indra Charles to pay $150,000 because he was found to be guilty of breaching the privilege of outsiders, ordinary Bahamians, by using their emails in the Honorable House of Assembly. Well, Mr. Brave Davis had a serious problem with that because he says by the government discontinuing that case.
Allegedly discontinued because there's only a report in the newspaper. And it was reported by Fred Smith.
They got the picture in one story of the Honorable Attorney General Carl Bethel. I thought the story was coming from Mr. Bethel in his position as the Attorney General of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, telling the people that the government has made made a decision.
Well, if you follow the story in the Tribune, it attributed the comments by to Mr. Smith QC, who told the Tribune yesterday that a notice of a discontinuance had already been filed and a formal position was expected at the status hearing scheduled for June 26th.
Okay, something is coming. There has to be a status hearing, and the court will make a decision. So as far as Mr. Smith is concerned, the die has been cast. The government has made a decision, as far as he's concerned, to discontinue the case. And, you know,
but let's
it would be the former government's case. This has a serious problem with it.
Well, let's look at it from my point of view. Even if I was not cognizant of what is transpiring, right? So, or has transpired so far. Me as not an attorney, but has some legal training, and not at the level of Mr. Brave Davis and a number of them in the House of Assembly who are very, very senior. If I'm the incoming government, right? As far as that particular matter is concerned, and listen to Mr. Brave Davis talk about it was his impression and Glenasana Martin that it was unanimity in the House of Assembly. But he, if you would recall, when this matter came up about privilege, the current Prime Minister had already been deposed as leader of the opposition.
Yes.
And so the leader of the opposition at the time was Loretta Butler Turner.
Yes, she was.
Along with her rogue parliamentarians who went against the Free National Movement. It was only three, genuine or, when I say genuine.
Well, they all say they were members.
They all say they were members of Free
National Movement.
But for argument's sake,
yes, they
may have been Free National Movement card-carrying members at the time. But obviously they went against the party wishes. So they were not really acting in the interest of the party.
They were rogues.
They were rogues.
They were rogues.
They were complete rogues.
They deposed, they ousted
so
the leader of the official opposition.
So there were only three compliant FNMs in the House of Assembly.
That's a good word.
Yeah. So you cannot say that they were unanimous.
Or they were unanimous
in
their support.
Exactly. But so let's look at it this way. For Mr. Davis to claim that he was under the impression that the whole House
Yes.
had a interest in this matter to see that it come to conclusion for the protection of House members.
Yes.
He was grossly misled, or he was living in La La Land.
Well,
Because that would have only had unanimous support from the Progressive Liberal Party. Remember, even the Speaker of the House of Assembly at the time was defiant. In fact, went to the extent where he challenged the court,
yes.
authority.
Oh, yes.
And so, between me and you, and I speak with my limited knowledge of the law, if it were me, I couldn't, in all conscience, continue a matter that certainly the former member for a marathon
Yes.
did not consult me, did not share the email with me, did not ask my consent to go ahead and
Well, there's some bigger features, some bigger pictures.
to go ahead and make those emails public.
The first thing is,
So he had a self-interest that served the Progressive Liberal Party to make a prima facie case to say that these people were trying to destabilize the Progressive
that's
Liberal
the
Party.
big picture.
Huh?
That's the big picture.
Yeah, come on, no,
Save
give
the
me a
base.
chance.
Save the base.
Had an interest in destabilizing the Progressive Liberal Party.
Yes.
That was their case.
And
And
they
so
were
why
being
would it-
financed by foreign
By
interests
foreign interests.
toward that outcome.
So why would we use the public funds to enhance, to complete that process? Now, Mr. Fitzgerald has a ruling against him personally
Yes.
to pay $150,000.
Yes.
So why should we use government or public funds to defend Mr. Fitzgerald's case at the expense of the
Well,
people?
here's why, according to Mr. Brave Davis.
But I listened to Brave Davis.
And as I said, we have many lawyers still make up the number of members of parliament in the Honorable House of Assembly. You agree with that?
I agree, but they have not the kind of interest that Brave Davis have.
Well,
in it.
here's what the picture is. The separation of powers between the state and the parliament. The previous government, under the leadership of Prime Minister, the Right Honorable
but hold on,
Perry
hold-
Gladstone Christie.
Hold on right there. There's a separation between powers between the executive, the judiciary, and parliament. Let's get it right.
Well, I
No,
talk
no,
about
no,
state.
no, not the state. No, you can't say it blindly and generally like that.
well, let's deal
There's
with the separation of powers
period.
between
The
Parliament and the judiciary.
Between executive and the judiciary. There's three branches of government.
Okay. Well,
See, because when you look at Parliament, every member of Parliament, whether he is a minister, the Prime Minister, they are accountable to Parliament.
that's true.
All right,
That is true.
they're accountable to Parliament. So whatever they do, it is subject to parliamentary rules and privileges.
And that is exactly why I was trying to narrow it down. But since you bring in all three of the branches,
yeah, because see, the executive
That-
is trying to strong arm Parliament.
that is exactly why Mr. Philip Brave Davis and others, even those who are not now members of Parliament, are feeling today that their privileges are being breached based on the ruling by the Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Indra Charles, in this matter
She's a good woman.
involving the emails
She's a good
of
woman.
Save the Base members.
She is a good,
Excellent
excellent woman.
jurist.
Yeah,
yes,
excellent.
very much so.
I should say Jewish, yeah.
But
Not a woman.
but
But she is a woman.
but Mr. Davis, on behalf of Jerome Fitzgerald, member of Parliament, former,
Do you think she was a Bahamian? She would have acted like that?
absolutely not. Mr. Fred Mitchell, member of Parliament for Fox Hill, former. Mr. Leslie Miller, member of Parliament for Tall Pines, former. And himself, Mr. Davis, the member of Parliament for Cat Island, Rum Key, and San Salvador are feeling that their privileges have been breached because, as far as they're concerned, governments are continuous. There's no separation between colors when it comes to governments, is their argument today. And that because they were brought before the court, and I don't think any of them appeared in that case, they were brought before the court because of what Save the Bays claimed to be an egregious breach of the privilege of ordinary members of the public, that their privacy was evaded, stumped upon, their emails, their very business communications that were private.
They display
Parliament.
Parliament. They went to great lengths and disclosed all of those people's financial.
Yes, they did that.
Their salaries and everything.
They did all that. They did all that. But the members of Parliament are saying once they enter those hollowed halls, there's no one on the outside that can tell them that they're wrong with what they do.
But
no one.
But any matter that comes before the court,
Because
the
they
court
are protected.
They
They have the covering
Are you saying
of immunity
Yeah, immunity
in Parliament.
to say what they feel like,
And that
and
is
they invade
why
people's
Mr. Davis
privacy.
is,
to do what they feel like.
saying in Parliament today, just this morning, that what if it follows through with what the government intends to do as far as Mr. Fred Smith QC is concerned about, is it revocation or discontinuation
Of and they would
of
be
a
quite.
matter before
I believe
the
the government will be quite within its right to do so, unless that's a matter. That is a matter which involves an individual and a political
what
party.
they are trying to clear up, and I'm going to put it in a nutshell, that the court, in all of its jurisprudence, all of its power, cannot, should not be telling members of the Honorable House of Assembly what they can and cannot do.
And what the government is saying, you are well within your right if you want to take that position.
And that is
Go and
why-
spend your own money.
That is-
Go and spend your own money to defend what you believe.
And that is why Mr. Davis and his crew, this group, are feeling so hurt today.
They heard.
They feel as if they have been thrown under the bus by this new administration if they should follow through with that, because they want to be heard in court.
But go to
They
court.
want to stand in front
You
of
could go.
Justice
But
Andrew Charles and
the
let her know.
decision of the government does not stop,
You,
does not impede, does not prevent
Madam,
from Mr. Davis, Mr.
the buck
Fitzgerald,
stops before
Gunasana
the
Madden.
door of Parliament. That is what they want you to know. There's no court.
That's their assertion. The
It's
court
true.
will have to be the final arbiter over that.
And
That's their point of view. That's their.
Yes.
And so if they believe so strongly in that, put their money where their mouth is and go to court.
appeal.
Appeal it. But the government say, I'm not going to spend the public's money to defend you.
Well, they are upset because, as I said, government is continuous. The government is the government. And whatever
Now,
the previous government had
let
entrained
me stop you right there.
in
How
the
much matters-
apparent
how much
protection of the
matters-
privilege of a
How
parliament.
much matters did the previous F&M government would have proceeded in court that the PLP say that they ain't going on with it? You can't talk continuous when it's in your interest to do so. You cannot cherry pick. You cannot cherry pick. If you say government is continuous, you have to continue. Now, I know there are matters where, in fact, there are several cases where I think the former prime minister and the government itself was being sued.
Yes.
You see, the government, you understand what I'm saying? No, there's no call. The government itself was being sued, the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. In those cases, the government itself has very limited wiggle room. But the decision is not against the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas in this matter, you know. It was against Jerome Fitzgerald.
Yes.
All right?
And
So we have to distinguish that. See, where matters are brought against the government itself, that's the government can't say, well, that was the FNM government, or that was the PLP. No, let me make a point. Or that was the PLP government. Where a matter is brought before the court in the name of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, those matters, yes, they are continuous. In this case, where it involves a single member of parliament, why should the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas defend a case which has been brought against a single member of parliament? Now I have Brave Davis, the leader of the opposition in Ghana, Senator Martin. They said they are under the opinion that it was a unanimous decision of parliament. They had an impression. There was no resolution passed, you know.
well, the government's
They thought that there was a general consensus among the members of parliament that they ought to arrive at a decision where they ought to know going forward. Because you remember Philip Brave Davis, the member of parliament for Cat Island and leader of the opposition, official opposition, said that he had some emails he wanted to read too.
absolutely.
So where does this end? Then you just simply read anybody email in parliament because you claim parliamentary privilege?
But what was interesting to me is while it was ongoing and following the decisions made by the Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Indra Charles, read into the records of the Honorable House of Assembly by the Speaker at the time, Dr. Kendall Major, not a man or a woman, not a honorable member of parliament did anything after that, bringing info from out of the public domain into the House of Assembly and taking responsibility for it. Not a man or woman moved to do such a thing. So it meant something. But in the meantime, and in the background, they were all saying, or were they murmuring or grumbling? Maybe some were cussing, because there were things they wanted to do. One wanted to bring information to show that dollars were being allegedly pumped into the country under the guise of an environmental group, they say, to destabilize the government of the Bahamas. But we see today in the newspaper that the government has filed notice of its intent to drop its appeal of the landmark Supreme Court ruling on parliamentary privilege, alongside former Marathon MP, Cabinet Minister Jerome Fitzgerald. And this is coming from attorney Fred Smith, QC, who told the Tribune newspaper that a notice of discontinuance had already been filed and a formal position was expected at a status hearing scheduled for June 26. Now, the move, it signals a reversal of the former government's administration position, which previously argued that Mr. Fitzgerald or his statements in Parliament were protected from legal liability by way of constitutional provision, by parliamentary privilege, and also legislatively under the Powers and Privileges Act. But it was also unclear whether the costs ordered by the court will be paid by the public treasury or by Mr. Fitzgerald. That is where I had a fundamental concern. When the justice made the order in her decision, it was not stipulated whether Mr. had a timeline or a deadline in which to pay this cost or an alternative penalty if failing to pay? What would happen? Or was it the government's responsibility to make sure this money was paid? Not to the court, you know.
Well, let me say right
Costs.
now. Let me say right now, according to the information here, the ruling was made against Mr. Fitzgerald personally.
Yes.
He personally
As
appealed.
a member of parliament.
He personally appealed the matter.
As a member of parliament.
So it wasn't the government who appealed it, you know. Fitzgerald himself personally appealed it
Mr. Fitzgerald
because
was
the ruling was
acting-
made against him.
Mr. Fitzgerald was acting at all material times,
Uh-huh.
as far as they're concerned,
Uh-huh.
under the guise,
Uh-huh.
under the covering,
Uh-huh.
under the protection
Uh-huh.
of the Progressive Liberal Party government in
Right.
parliament.
Right. Therefore, that government no longer exists.
The government had a fiduciary responsibility to ensure that whatever Mr. Fitzgerald did or did not do, they were also
So
responsible.
what they should have done was to file a notice of appeal in the name of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas government. They did not do that. They threw Mr. Fitzgerald under the bus. So Mr. Fitzgerald has to shoulder this whole matter by himself.
And that's why Mr. Brave Davis is fighting tooth and
Well,
nail
he should have fought. He should have
to
fought.
make sure
He should have told the government, as a senior member of the Bar Association, as a senior member of the court, they should have appealed the matter in the name of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas government.
Mr.
Then it would have been a government
Mr.
appeal.
Davis is now
It-
saying that
I don't
by
have-
dropping the case,
I don't care what Mr. Davis
they are
says.
also breaching the privilege of one Mr. Fitzgerald in absentia. Listen to me.
You ain't listen to that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Straight Talk. And
Listen carefully.
I hear you, but listen to me.
In his absence,
Yeah.
in his defeatednness.
Yeah, well, Mr. Brave Davis, well, you heard what the Minister of Legal Affairs and Attorney General said,
What
right?
did he say?
He told Mr. Davis, you are a very senior member of the bar, the court. And you know, and thank God the speaker this time is a lawyer. He ain't like the last one.
Too many lawyers. too many lawyers.
So you know exactly from what I speak about.
Too many lawyers.
So therefore, the former member, knows exactly what he needs to do. If the government makes a decision, proceed as the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas in the appeal. Mr. Davis, Mr. Fitzgerald, who is also a senior lawyer, Glennis Hannah Martin is a senior lawyer. They know what to do. Spend your own money and defend the matter. But we're not interested. That's what the government is saying. And that's what I believe the government will say.
The government has to hold its ground if that is what it intends to do. But in the meantime, Mr. Davis and the others on the opposite side are saying there's only one government. And if one is feeling that you have done something to them that's egregious, we all should fight the cause.
Remember what I said.
That is
now.
what they say.
Remember what I said. In the House of Assembly, there is no government in the House of Assembly.
We all should fight the cause.
No, you understand what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
The executive?
I am with you.
See, Philip Brave Davis talking about separation of power.
Yes.
In the House of Assembly, there's no executive.
And that's why
They are all parliamentarians.
they want the
There is no
protection-
government in the House of
They
Assembly.
want this government to protect Parliament. That is what they say. They want Hubert Minnis administration to protect Parliament and make sure all their privileges are intact.
Yeah, they want further taxpayers' money to defend their matters. They make their own personal decision. They want us to defend it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Straight Talk. We're coming back. We're on our second break. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion. The number to call to participate in our discussion today, 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272. Or you can WhatsApp or text us at 552 552-7902. 552-7902. According to the Speaker of the House of Assembly, a prima facie case has been made out based on the admission by Leader of the Opposition, Brave Davis, that he stands by and he owns the statement made in the Tribune today regarding Mr.
Says the government of Hubert Minnis
is a
has a habit
of lying.
false accusations.
Lying. I can say lying out here because they can't say it in the House of Assembly. That's what it is.
Lying is unparliamentary,
Yeah, but I can say it here.
but it's good for straight
Good
talk.
for Straight Talk. This is Straight Talk. We're coming back after we hear from our sponsors.
Can you imagine being caught in a medical emergency with no help? Massa Assist Medical Air Services Association can come to your rescue by helping your family for a very affordable membership cost. Massa Assist will take care of all your family's emergencies in the Bahamas and abroad. For more information, contact Senior Marketing Executive Lincoln Deal at 422-6166 or 433-6166. Massa Assist for all your emergencies.
Extra, read all about it. Sammy's Chicken, $5.99 special.
Sammy's Chicken does it again. For a limited time only, it's the $5.99 Thigh Snack Special.
I tell you.
Sammy's $5.99 Thigh Snack Special comes with a 12-ounce Coke, VAT included.
See, I don't lie.
For a limited time only, Sammy's Chicken, Robinson Road, Carmichael Road, East Street South, Farrington Road, and the newly reopened Prince Charles location. Sammy's Chicken.
LRD Construction has a proven track record as a general building and construction company. Its remarkable team is ready to provide quality and proficient service on projects big or small. LRD Construction can handle large commercial sites, new homes, apartments, condominiums, townhouses, home improvements, renovations, additions, and alterations. Call LRD Construction at 327-3769 or 433-6166. West Winds, Love Beach. That's LRD Construction. The best tasting roasted peanuts in the whole wide world are Nature's Gifts Roasted Peanuts. Proprietor Derek Sims applies his personal touch by roasting peanuts to perfection. Get your peanuts in light, medium, and dark. Call 431-7710 to place your order. Nature's Gifts Roasted Peanuts on Market Street and Bacardi Road. For fast and efficient appraisals of homes, vacant land, and businesses, your choice should be First Choice Appraisal and Real Estate Sales. Contact broker appraiser Gregory Colley for all your real estate sales and appraisals. Call 422-3010, 565-8896, or 341-0582 for listings of vacant land, residential and commercial properties, and all your appraisal needs.
Want to reach your target audience? Advertise here at Global Radio 99.5. We hit the mark every time. This is Straight Talk with Gregory Colley. Call in and participate at 326-0271 on Global Radio 99.5 FM.
Give me some straight talk, and hold the sugar, please.
Yes, we're holding the sugar. No sweet talking, no jive talking, just straight talking. I want to welcome you if you're just joining us. This is Straight Talk. I'm your host, Gregory Colley, along with my co-host, Martin Albury, and you're tuned in to Global 99.5 FM. Our telephone lines are open. You've been listening to our discussion. We're talking about the proceedings today in the House of Assembly, whereby Mr. Brave Davis has claimed privileges. His privileges were breached, and the member for Garden Hills, Brenzel Roll, the Honorable Brenzel Roll, also claiming breach of his privilege in the House of Assembly, as Mr. Brave Davis and has termed his statements regarding the hiring of 6,500 persons, the $10 million added to the public purse in the last 5 months of the Progressive Liberal Party, among other things that he has made in his budget communication. He terms them false. And essentially what he is saying, what he has said, is that the Free National Movement has a history of telling lies. They have not brought any evidence to support what they has asserted, and he said that they have a pattern of falsehood. And so Mr. Brenzel Rule, the Honorable Brenzel Rule, the Member of Parliament for Garden Hills, has taken exception to what Mr. Brave Davis has indicated in today's Tribune. And Mr. Davis also stood on his feet to claim privilege, although no prima facie case has been made with regard to Mr. Davis' assertion that his privilege has been breached. It appears that Mr. Davis has been acting as an advocate for former Member of Parliament for Marathon, Mr. Jerome Fitzgerald, but he has not shown to the satisfaction of the Parliament that his personal privilege has been breached in any way.
What I found very interesting, while Mr. Brenzel Rule was raising the issue of parliamentary privilege being breached in the House of Assembly earlier this morning, was something he had to say concerning the existence of parliamentary democracy in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Since September 29th, 1729, until 2012, and all of those hundreds of years, there has never been the kind of an increase in a 5-year period in Parliament, in the life of Parliament. There has never been the kind of increase in the life of Parliament, 5 years, that there has been between 2012 and 2017, telling me that the Progressive Liberal Party government has set a new norm, a new record in its recurrent expenditure, which grew from $1.6 billion in 2012 to $2.6 billion in 2017. And Mr. Davis has been called upon as a former minister, the Deputy Prime Minister of the Perry Christie administration, the Minister of Public Works and Urban Renewal 2.0, with responsibility for utilities and even for the construction of BAMC in North Andros. Mr. Davis has to explain how the government was able to add $200 million each year to its expenditure for the past 5 years. Now we know that the majority of this recurrent expenditure is being used to pay salaries and emoluments for the pensions of the many pensioners of the public service and the insurance premium of public servants. But why did the government spend so much money over the last 5 years? $200 million per year in excess of its financial expenditures. As I said, Mr. Davis is the Lone Ranger as far as this new administration is concerned. He was second fiddle in the orchestra of Mr. Christie. He knows all of the intricacies, the answers, because he was the number 2 man. And there's good reason, why Mr. Davis, out of all of the 39, was able to survive the tsunami on May 10th for a good reason, so that he can be the chief spokesman to deliver all of the answers that the people need as far as the government's responsibility in the previous administration. But Davis, as a lawyer, that he can to make sure that he survives and becomes the next official leader of the Progressive Liberal Party. But today, the big question in my mind is this: should the Free National Movement government, all the people hired by the PLP government 5 months before the last general election, terminating workers from the public service is always a politically charged issue. The F&M should be wise to terminate all the people that it deems unnecessary at once, in order to avoid the numerous battles with those who have a dissenting voice. It is true, tens of thousands of Bahamians voted for the Free National Movement in the last general election. And I believe that those tens of thousands of Bahamians understand that the government should clean up the dirt left behind by the PLP. They have to take some tough measures. And I believe the people know that those tough measures are necessary.
Let's go to phone lines. Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
That could cause war. That could cause war.
Let the war begin, because
Let it
I
start.
got all of my armor.
Because you can let it start. Because it could cause war.
Why
tell you why
is it
it
going to
cause
cause war, Bannister?
I'm gonna tell you why it could cause war.
Let the war begin.
See, one of the reasons is this. With that 6,500 persons over the past 5 years, some of them is the breadwinners of their homes. Only them working, some of them paying rent and light bill and this kind of bill for the little change what they getting. Let me be real. Let me be real with you. I'm gonna be real with you, Rev. Them 6,500 persons who they hire, a lot of them vote for the FNM
How you know that?
because a lot of them told me that.
Okay.
So
okay.
that's what they tell you. But that's
So
what they tell
you want to cause war.
No, you have no empirical proof that they did what they say they did.
Well, the proof is in the pudding because it was a landslide. It was the proof in the pudding, Rev. Let me be real with you.
How many people voted for the PLP?
A lot of people vote for that.
So how you know those same people ain't that?
But it was a landslide and the people
Yeah,
that
but
sit down right on the wall.
just you cannot.
Well, I can say this. I can say
Should
this.
the FNM government
I can say
terminate
this,
all the
Rev.
people
I
hired
can
by
say
the
this.
PLP 5 months
I
before the
can
general
say
election?
this. Many persons mess on the PLP and call it peanut butter. They voted for the FNM handsomely because of the skullduggery and the corruption in the PLP. Many persons saw the handwriting on the wall 6 and 7 months before the election. The people was quiet. The people wasn't raising no flags with the FNM or PLP or when someone's power familiar. The people then voted for the FNM. Many persons I know on my WhatsApp what get them jobs. They go on with Bannister and vote FNM. Many persons in Grand Bahama like the style of Bannister or Archer and vote FNM. Now let me tell you, y'all right what y'all saying, but this could cause trouble because plenty persons are breadwinners for their homes. They're depending on a couple dollars every end of the month. And the job is terminated, they should go. But if they permanent, you gotta leave them. If they're on 52-week program, just do what you gotta do.
Bannister,
Yes,
1 minute. Listen to this.
yes.
The Minister of Public Works, or the minister responsible for the public service and national insurance,
Thanks a lot.
he said
Uh-huh.
He made an inquiry about these 6,500 new employees
Uh-huh.
and as to how many of the new employees were paid.
A lot of them was
He
there.
was informed that the Ministry of Finance did not know that they existed in many cases.
That ain't cool. That was dumb. That was poor public relation on the PLP. That's why the people vote them out.
not poor public relation.
That's
The
dumb public
Ministry
relation.
of Finance
Yes.
do not have these people
Well, that's some kind of
on the
skullduggery.
payroll.
That's some kind of skullduggery going on. And I understand what he's saying. Well, if the skullduggery going on, weed out the bad apples. We want to know where the Mahatma is. We want to know what's the names of these persons what came in House Assembly for the first time in 2002 with $47,000. Now today with $50 million. We want to know where the contract's going. The Bahamian people want to know all kind of stuff. What the whitelist PL place. The people want to know what Peter Tanquest I'm dealing with. Because not for us out here right now want to know about all the Sheehan Gibson and all the Fitzgerald, whether they listen to me or not. All of the corrupt members of parliament in the past,
Allegedly.
like Philip Brave Davis. The people want to know what all the corruption was about. Call the name.
Mr. Brave Davis say you all telling lies on them.
Man, Brave Davis and La La La, like what you say. Brave, they all kind of contracts before the election with side roads and all that for millions of dollars. And nobody can give account for the money. Somebody got to give account.
He
That's why I
says, bring
say-
your proof. Bring
Huh?
your proof. Bring your proof.
You mean with Brave?
Brave say, bring the proof.
They got the proof.
Brave say, you got to
They
bring
get-
the proof.
I bet you if a person like me and you have was in the assembly, they would have to bring the proof long time.
Should the FNM keep all of these people, the PLP, irresponsibly hired?
Keep some and let some go.
How do you determine that?
Well, many, money more. That's the best thing to do right
Shot
now.
of straw. Draw the
Many,
straw.
money more. Catch a nigga by his
But
throat.
you know,
Who gotta go,
but you know,
stay.
Paula,
Yes.
you and I know the Bahamians cannot afford the increased tax burdens because of these unneeded state bureaucracies.
Well, since we love the Bahamas so much, right? And we always say we love the Bahamas, right? Some of them rich fellas in those assembly need to take a pay cut or don't get paid for a year or two. That's where they accumulate Bahamians because they say they love the Bahamians and it's the people's time. Let's sacrifice as millionaires for Simon and Brave Davis and all these
Bannister,
Yes.
let's what do you think about my suggestion?
Talk to
Where
me.
those hired by ministers who had not the authority to hire them in the first place because they didn't go through the process?
You got to let them
Shouldn't
go.
you let them? Well, if they hire them, shouldn't you let the minister pay for them? The former minister pay
The
their
settle
salaries.
straight, the settle going through the right process and get hired with the right process.
No, if they get hired with the
That's-
right pro,
That's the Public Service
that is no
Commission.
problem. There's not a problem with them.
But
The ones who came through the back door.
the back door says
who-
to go. The back door said to
but the
get
people-
investigated.
the
But some
people-
of them people send it to
My
eat.
friend, the people have been working for, in some cases, for the last 5 months. They have not been paid.
And the people from Nema. Some of the people from Nema, when I go up there, they mouth drop open so they ain't get paid for weeks, going for 6-7 weeks. The people in Nema need to get paid now. The people who clean the road, the park, and the beaches need to get paid. I
So
thought,
how should the government clean this thing up?
how should they clean it up?
Yeah.
They in budget, right? They in
Until
budget, right?
until July 1st.
Yeah, well, when that's 700 million, whatever they buy it, they got to spend some of that money on some of these people.
400 million is to pay back bills.
Well paid.
322 millions is for capital expenditure.
We can always be in bills, Martin. We come here with bills and we can leave with bills. So bills can always be until Jesus comes.
Amen.
So you got to do some things. Then prayers to be in people, because y'all didn't see how you fire the people and roll people out. Even the minister do good and the people ain't satisfied, they can roll them out too, and you nothing mean you could do but that. Enough respect. God continue to bless
Good
you.
afternoon.
Yeah.
326-0271 326-0271 326-0272 326-0272, or you can WhatsApp or text us at 552-7902 552 7902. Well, I think the Bahamian people and to our listeners, we really need to look at this situation. It is a revolving door. When the Progressive Liberal Party came to office in 2012, you have a call on the line. Let's go to the phone lines. Welcome, Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Carly and Mr. Albert.
Good
How are you?
afternoon.
I have a point, and then I have a question for you guys today.
Mm-hmm.
If the PLP government hire a number of persons just before election,
Mm-hmm.
and these people are nowhere to be found in the system until the Ministry of Finance doesn't even know that these people exist.
Right.
These people need to be, as a matter of fact, they don't need to be terminated because they was never there.
I just going to say, you can't terminate what you don't have.
Right, they was never there in the first place. Those were just political appointments. They just give these people false hope and false promises.
My Lord.
In the hope that they would be returned as the government, then they would look at regularizing them.
No, what they would have done was let them people go.
What?
Trust me on that. They would have let those people
You think
go.
they'd be that heartless to do that?
Of course. They never hired them in the first place. Now, that's my first point. My second point is, as concerning to this Bahama thing, as concerning this Bahama thing, if the government of the Bahamas and the Chinese people negotiated a deal,
Mm-hmm.
the Chinese people can't go and tell the court seal this deal from the Bahamian people. They have to ask the government of the Bahamas to do that.
The government of Bahamas was complicit with them.
So
Yes,
that
they
means
did
the
that.
government agreed.
They agreed with it.
Right.
They did
So
not.
the
They did not
government-
object.
The government agreed with that, and the government went to the court and asked for this deal to be sealed, right?
No.
Well, they didn't say anything.
So who sealed the deal?
The court, the
Supreme Court
the Supreme
Justice.
Court Justice did it on the
On
basis
the advice,
on the advice
of who?
of the advice of
the
the
purchasers.
purchasers. But the government did not object. It's just like when you go to court, right? If you're tried with a criminal offense and the the prosecutor, the court grants you bail, but the prosecutor says, "Well, you don't object,"
He objects.
or
Right.
he objects. If he objects, then you will likely not get bail.
Or
Right.
an argument over bail.
Or be an argument over bail. But if he sits quiet and say we have no objection,
That means it's
Right.
carried.
then the person gets bail.
Right. So I feel like the F&M government
Mhm.
needs to do some revolutionary things. We can't come to the Bahamian people right now.
If you keep
And tell
doing the
them
same things that you've been doing, you will get the same results.
Indeed.
Mhm.
We can't come to the Bahamian people right now and tell the Bahamian people, listen, I've seen the deal. I'm Carl Bethel. I've seen the deal, but we're going to have to get some advice from the China. Listen, the Bahamian people want to know what's in that deal.
And they have a right to know. It's
Every
their money.
Right.
It's the
And
Bahamian
you
people's
promise-
money.
And you promise them you cannot come right now and say, no, we're going to have to do that. No.
No
You
backtracking.
supposed to know when the people vote. I voted for you to do this
Yes.
because I want to know. I was afraid of what's in this deal. I want to know.
Yes.
My government is wrong on this one. Unseal the deal and let the chips fall. If the Chinese want to sue you later, okay. But the
Well-
Bahamian people have to know.
Right. Well, I
And
think
have to know
that
now. You can't say you know, and obviously the Christie administration knows, but we have to wait and see how we can do this before we tell the Bahamian. That is foolishness.
no, and we have to demand that they
I
stick to the
did not-
promise.
I did not vote for that.
Right.
So
All
I'm
right.
looking to you guys to let them know.
Yes, and we will let them know.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. We have another call on the line. Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
How are we doing?
Great. How are you?
Good evening to you, Greg, and Martin.
Good afternoon.
I called about 3-4 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Greg and Martin. The Bahamian people gotta understand one thing, and one thing only. We put Dr. Hubert Minnis and his people in there, his cabinet or whoever. We put them in there for one reason.
The change team.
We put them in there for one reason,
Mhm.
and 5 years has come quick.
That is true.
One reason, man. We need to find out one thing, and everybody, all these talk shows is be delinquent and asking one question, and find out one thing. And Dr.
You
Hubert
mean
Minister Wonder,
every show except Straight Talk?
with straight talk, you guys, right?
Okay.
We need to find out one thing. And I don't see why no one should get no, because we are the humans, you know.
Yes.
We no foreigners, you know. We are humans. This is our money. We want to know one thing. Where is our money? That's all the Bahamian people want to know, you know. Where is our money? And people have a problem with that. Hello.
Well, you have a right to know where your tax dollars
That's
are
all we
going,
want to know.
and you
Where
know how
is
it's being
our
spent.
money?
Yes. Yes.
Any investigation when Dr. Minnis decide to do the audit, the forensic audit, every Bahamian in this country is supposed to say, okay, thank you, Dr. Minnis.
Thank you very much.
Because this is our money. We don't want to know where is our money. And the next thing too, where was this money supposed to come from? To pay these police officers. If the cupboard there.
Mm.
So, Bahamian people, we gotta wake up.
Well,
Yeah?
they found the first installment.
We have to wake up and
so
understand
the
one
second
thing.
one should be coming sometime soon.
We have to, I tell all the Bahamian people, we have to understand, you know, XST1, we have to understand. Bahamian people have to understand one thing, you know. You can't urinate on a someone and tell us it's raining. People have to understand one thing. One thing and one thing only. The Bahamas is for Bahamians, man. We need to know where, especially people who have kids. We need to know where or what our money is being used for. That's all.
All right.
And Dr. Hubert Minnis, that's his task. His task now, he says the people time, his task now is to ensure and let the Bahamian people know where is the money. They didn't say the cupboard bill. So find out where our money went. And whatever you have to do with them, and he said it up in his victory speech. When he won, he went on the podium and he said, if you did nothing wrong, you have nothing to say.
Absolutely.
So why should that be a problem? Get the money. The people want to know. We really want to know one thing. Where is our money?
All right. I think they're gonna.
And we want to know now.
That's all we want to know, Greg.
I think they're gonna answer that question.
That's what we want to know. Where is our money? There is no big and no big time problem and no one should be offended about. We just want to know where our money is. If we can't go and get our money, we want to know where it is so we can go to the person who have it to go get it.
Amen.
If someone owe you a couple of dollars, you're going to find out where it is, my buddy. You have the money? No. That one have the money? Okay, let me go to get my money. So why is that a problem?
No,
When we talking about millions of dollars.
Call the police.
Guys, I'm getting fired, Greg, or jobs if they steal a bag of cement. If they steal $100, or if they something happened with what happened with them with $2 or at $25. They have to go stealing by reasonable employment. These politicians work for us, they're employed by us. So why we can't jail them?
All right.
Why we can't jail them? If we send them out regular people who on the street to jail for $1,000 who they steal for reasonable employment. If these fellas stealing millions of dollars, why we can't jail them? Why we can't send them to court?
Well, the thing about it is we have to. There's due process,
Gotta prove it.
and
Stealing?
and Brave David
Right.
say you got to prove it. You got to
Let
bring
me
the
tell you
facts. You got to
something,
bring
Bob.
the case.
All they need to do, the forensic audit right there, all you would need to do, and I hope he listening to you guys, all he needs to do is do what he said he was going to do on a stage when he accepted anyone.
Well,
He
I
said
believe
would
he
do,
has
and
all
everybody
intention.
be behind him.
I believe he has all intention to do that, but you have to wait. You have to wait for the audits to come out.
Yeah, but I'm saying, once it comes out,
Mhm.
we give them 9 months. Once it comes out, all the payment people want to do, and you ask anybody who call you after me,
Mm-hmm.
really want to know one thing, brother.
Where the
There
money gone?
is
And
money.
if any corruption went down, you want those persons prosecuted.
That's all. That's all we want. We don't want our, we want our
You
money.
ain't just want to know where the money is. You want those persons.
We want our
arrested.
money back.
Yeah. You want your money
You want
back and you want to
prosecuting them?
prosecute it. You want
Prosecuting one.
no,
Prosecuting
you
themselves.
want
That take years.
you want
That
confiscation.
could take years.
No, you want confiscation. You want the money. You want the whatever gain they've gotten is confiscated.
We
and you
want
wanna prosecute-
everything like how they is doing in the United States. We
Money.
want everything seized. Seized.
Yeah.
And we want our money.
Right.
That's all the Benin people want. You ask any one of your callers who's coming after me. Let them tell you. They could ask you one thing. All
Show me
we
the money.
want
Show
is
me the
our
money.
Thank
Show
you
me
very
the
much,
money.
caller.
All right. Thank
You
you
show
very
me someone who don't want their money,
Yeah,
and I'll show you a fool.
Thank you very much.
much. Thank you very much, caller.
All right.
Take care. We'll be on our final break. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. If you're just joining us, this is Straight Talk. I'm your host, Greg Colley, along with my co-host, Martin Aubrey, and you're tuned in to Global 99.5 FM. We're going to take our final break, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussions. Again, our phone lines are open. You can call us 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272, or you can WhatsApp or text us at 552-7902. That's 552-7902. This is Straight Talk. We're coming back after we hear from our sponsors.
For fast and efficient appraisals of homes, vacant land, and businesses, your choice should be First Choice Appraisal and Real Estate Sales. Contact broker appraiser Gregory Colley for all your real estate sales. Call 422-3010, 565-8896, or 341-0582 for listings of vacant land, residential and commercial properties, and all your appraisal needs.
LRD Construction has a proven track record as a general building and construction company. Its remarkable team is ready to provide quality and proficient service on projects big or small. LRD Construction can handle large commercial sites, new homes, apartments, condominiums, townhouses, home improvements, renovations, additions, and alterations. Call LRD Construction at 327-3769 or 433-6166. West Winds, Love Beach. That's LRD Construction.
Can you imagine being caught in a medical emergency with no help? Massa Assist Medical Air Services Association can come to your rescue by helping your family for a very affordable membership cost. Massa Assist will take care of all your family's emergencies in the Bahamas and abroad. For more information, contact Senior Marketing Executive Lincoln Deal at 422-6166 or 433-6166. Massa Assist for all your emergencies.
The best tasting roasted peanuts in the whole wide world are Nature's Gifts Roasted Peanuts. Proprietor Derek Sims applies his personal touch by roasting peanuts to perfection. Get your peanuts in light, medium, and dark. Call 431-7710 to place your order. Nature's Gifts Roasted Peanuts on Market Street and Bacardi Road.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Sammy's Chicken, $5.99 special.
Sammy's Chicken does it again. For a limited time only, it's the $5.99 Thigh Snack Special.
I tell you.
Sammy's $5.99 Thigh Snack Special comes with a 12-ounce Coke, that included.
See, I don't lie.
For a limited time only, Sammy's Chicken, Robinson Road, Carmichael Road, East Street South, Farrington Road, and newly reopened Prince Charles location. Sammy's Chicken.
Want to reach your target audience? Advertise here at Global Radio 99.5. We hit the mark every time. This is Straight Talk with Gregory Colley. Call in and participate at 326-0271 on Global Radio 99.5 FM.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. This is our final couple of minutes together, 20 minutes or so. And so we're going straight to the phone lines. We have a call on lines and holding. Welcome to Straight Talk. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I trust you're well.
We're doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Agatha Marcel and her program. Do you know so far what the government's intention is to do with her employment?
Well, as far as we know, as much as we know, is that what has been reported is that her contract has come to an end, and so we have not heard anything whether the government intends to renew that contract. We'll have to wait and see what government intend to do as far as that contract is concerned.
What is your opinion of her contract being renewed?
Well, what it tells me is I understand, and in various circles, some high-ranking members of the Progressive Liberal Party who are on contract, their contracts have been renewed beyond 5 years down in the future. And so it looks like the Progressive Liberal Party has left Miss Marcel out in the cold under the bus. They did not renew a contract prior to the election, as they did many others, allegedly.
I have followed her career, and I think her career is a stellar one. To agree that when a new administration come in, that everybody hired previously by the outgoing should be discarded and should be let go. I think.
Well, it's not everybody. What it points on, and if you listen to what the Prime Minister said, if you are a career public servant, career means that you do not use your position as a party operative to conduct your business, but you conducted it in a professional manner. You offered yourself open to serve whoever is the government. He said you have nothing to worry about.
I just want to put in a plug for the tourism sector. Our Minister of Tourism is concerned with stimulating tourism in Bahamas. I believe that as soon as possible, every member of Parliament ought to utilize help is available to clean up his constituency. Nassau is a dirty place. It's a matter of fact, I would dare say, Nassau is a filthy place. Wherever I have gone, traveled, whether in the United States or Canada or the West Indies, one of the first things that impresses me or depresses me is the cleanliness of the environment.
Mm-hmm.
When you go on a tour, if you see junk everywhere, if you see dirt everywhere, it certainly detracts from your impression of that place. Are you aware of how filthy New Providence is?
We see it every day. Every day we see it.
If every MP utilize volunteers and students, 12th graders and otherwise coming out of school this summer and give them a little stipend, they can start cleaning up one constituency by the other.
Caller, I think we have to go one phase deeper, and that to encourage every Bahamian to keep his or her premises clean. And we have a major problem that whenever, and I've been involved with cleanup campaigns, whenever we are finished cleaning up a particular area, we see the dump coming right away. Garbage.
The answer to that is local government.
Well, call it, local governments may be able to monitor, but I think what my colleague is saying is it goes deeper, and we have to take it a step further.
Well, I agree with you on that.
If each and every one of us keep our own doorstep clean, right?
The village.
The village will be that much cleaner. As a broker and realtor, I go through areas. If government clears up a section of the area, once they move
vehicles,
the derelict vehicles,
the fridge,
they move
the
the fridge, the stove, all
bed,
the abandoned stuff. When you have people come bring and dump it right back again. So engaging the young people to help the clean up and so forth. That's a short term.
It's a part of it. It's a part of it.
We could do that, but what we need to do is in terms of instilling in our people. You don't have to be nasty. You don't have to be.
I'll give you one example. There were people on the beaches a couple of days ago. They went, they took their food, their drinks. Do you think that they cleaned up when they were leaving? I don't think they did, because the garbage is on the beach.
Were there any penalties?
There are penalties for all of these things, but then enforcement.
Are they enforced?
That
is a major problem.
You mean there aren't enough persons to hire to enforce the rules and regulations?
Let's look at our payroll bill right now as it stands. You're paying 60% about whatever we take in the budget to pay salaries. If you have to hire people to go monitor nasty people in the country from not dumping their refuse all over the place.
Put it in the garbage bin.
When it's simple for our people just to put it in there are enough receptacles supplied for people to dump their stuff. Now, one thing I would take issue with, I think what the government should do, especially since they started implementing this disposal tax that they put on people for fridge and tires and so forth. The government ought to provide large bins in different districts for people to dispose them, to put them in the bins, as opposed to going to
pay an
environmental tax. Now, that's what I would suggest, and that's what I would advocate.
But we agree with you. The place is dirty. It's filthy. We agree with you.
Anyway, I believe we can put our heads together and we can tackle it if each MP decides to do his best to clean up his constituency and keep it clean. I believe it can be done.
It can be done, but with the help of the constituents to agree that they will all cooperate together and work with the member of parliament to keep their surroundings clean and not litter, not dump indiscriminately on vacant land that don't belong to them.
Thank you.
You have a good day.
326-0271. 326-0271. 326-0272. 326-0272. Text and WhatsApp line 552-7902. 552-7902. Martin, that's something I think we need to look at in terms of all of those taxes that were implemented under the previous government, where you're paying all these environmental taxes, and see the responsibility of government to provide receptacles, whether it means that in each particular constituency, they should provide a minimum of 4 of those large bins, so the persons could, instead of having to go drive up to the dump site or hire trucks to do it, they already pay you money to dispose of it.
So they used to make announcements back in the day when you discarding your fridge and stove and washing machine, even old beds and mattresses, a particular location throughout the constituency where you could come and
dispose them. Yeah.
Yes, and then they will move them. But we don't hear that.
But that's what we need to promote. We need to promote and make sure that it happens, because here, rather than people having to dispose them on vacant land, I passed down that road that just recently paved between Manning's Road, it is, going to the airport. And any little vacant piece, so that you could go, you could find new dump.
Just drop it off.
Drop it off.
Just drop it off. And another thing is the derelict vehicles. They are skewed all over the landscape. Just people, the car is no more good. They just pull it on the side. and go about their merry way. And in some neighborhoods, they talked about these roadside mechanic operations. Well, the government, Ministry of Environmental Health, they know where most of these locations are. And the summer is here, you will have a proliferation of rodents and roaches and mosquitoes harboring and growing, developing in those kinds of conditions.
You had another matter you want to bring to attention before we close. What about this thing about customs?
I understand, and I see it in the newspaper today. The forklift raid at the customs warehouse. A break-in at the Department of Customs warehouse near the Lyndon Pinling International Airport involves suspects who drove a forklift through the walls of the building, causing significant damage to the structure. And the Senior Assistant Commissioner of Police, Stephen Dean, said the incident is alleged to have occurred between Saturday evening and 8 a.m. Sunday morning. He said the entire building was ransacked at that time, but it is unknown if anything was stolen. Images of the ransacked building were circulated on social media yesterday, prompting shock and alarm. In some parts, the sheetrock of the building was torn into, and the ceiling tiles were ripped apart and fell in as the forklift rummaged through the building. Desk drawers were left wide open, and files were scattered on the floor, along with garbage bins that were knocked over. And Mr. Stephen Dean is telling us the investigation is ongoing. What could be the motive of someone or some people using a forklift to plow through the customs department, the building near the Lyndon Pinling International Airport? What were they looking for? What were they trying to take or to remove?
Well, two questions come to mind. Where was the customs guard?
Where was the security?
Where's the security? Was there any on duty?
We hired a security to watch the police station, I was told.
And
security.
Speaking about the police station,
Watching the police station.
Speaking of the police station is only located less than maybe 500 yards down the road.
Yeah. Well, good night.
What time it was?
Between Saturday night and 8 a.m. Sunday morning. So
Saturday night, 8 a.m.?
No. It happened late Saturday night.
Late Saturday night. And 8 a.m. Sunday morning.
So that's the dead of the night.
Yeah, but
police.
But you have police patrols.
No. At that time of the night.
No, they don't.
And the security officer is usually
sleeping. You know where this building is located, right?
I have an idea.
It's right opposite Tropical Gardens.
I have an idea where it is.
So they don't have electronic surveillance cameras and so forth. And that building, I know, is right there in the bushes.
Police are investigating. And that's about all I know today. But somebody should know something, because you don't just plow into a building without any kind of a commotion. Somebody should know or hear something. Someone drove a forklift into a wall at the Bahamas Customs warehouse near the Lyndon International Airport.
How did they get in?
And ransacked the building during a break-in Saturday evening at 8 a.m. Sunday morning. The culprit or culprits broke into the building where freight is stored, and they used the forklift to remove items. Photos of the incident circulated social media, as I said, showing the machinery left in the middle of the room amidst the tossed files to desk and the chairs. It's amazing.
Very amazing. And if that incident could happen like that, so easy, it begs question as to really what we're doing in terms of security in these government buildings, especially the customs warehouse.
Well, the customs today, they're now doing an inventory of the building to find out whether anything was removed. But
You think they just trashed the building?
The police are saying they could not determine at this time what was taken from the building and could not say whether there is video evidence of the break-in. That means they had no security cameras, no alarm system.
They said they couldn't say.
Couldn't say. Well,
So what that
couldn't
mean?
say.
In coded language, what that means?
That means they had none. It's non-existent.
Well, let's wrap it up, my brother.
Well, thank you very much. A beautiful, cool afternoon. I got someone I want to share. I'm making promises.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to deliver God's.
We were supposed to review the comments made by the Progressive Liberal Party today when they took office. So we're going to delay that for tomorrow.
Yes.
Because of the privilege questions that arose today in the House of Assembly. But we do have, I just want to leave you with this, is that the Progressive Liberal Party, I want to remind, sorry, not leave, but I want to remind and leave it with you, that the Progressive Liberal Party in 2012, when they came to office, they borrowed immediately over $500 million. Remember that? $500 million.
Yes.
Because they say that the previous F&M government
left the cupboards bare and they clean up the mess.
Yeah.
So it's always some mess you have to clean up.
And so this time the F&M has to increase that by $200 billion.
$722 million. Yeah. We'll get it right.
That's a call? Okay, good.
Let's
wrap it up.
Thank you very much, and hope to see you again tomorrow afternoon for another edition of Straight Talk.
God's willing, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for your telephone calls, your comments, and your participation today on Straight Talk. Today's show has been brought to you by Doc's Pharmacy, located Robertson Road, by Master Assist, located Village Road, by Nature's Gifts Fresh Roasted Peanuts, located Market Street South, by Sammy's Chicken, 5 locations to choose from, by First Choice Appraisals and Sales, by Geneva Brass Seafood, located Eden Street. Once again, I want to thank you for participating today. We'll be back tomorrow, God's willing. On behalf of our producer and engineer, Nathan, and my co-host, Martin Aubrey, this is your host, Greg Colley. Good afternoon, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not necessarily the opinions of the owners of Global Communications Network and the operators of this radio station.